This is probably the best position I've ever been in terms of filming. Excuse the face, excuse the hair. I've been up since about 5 o'clock. Not our choice, unfortunately I had to work this morning, but I do have the rest of the day. So, this is actually the first time back that I've been filming. I've had a really nice time off. I went to Glastonbury Festival, if anyone doesn't know where I've been. Obviously you've seen videos, but for me they've been 3 weeks of nothingness. Believe it or not, it's something that I've needed. I have missed doing some form of artwork because actually at the festival I ended up taking a lot more pictures and actually sitting down and drawing because it became so much more of a walking about festival rather than sitting down and just listen, draw, experience. If you want to, my video was actually launched yesterday to check out this year's ASMR Glastonbury Festival, and please do have a look at it. It's quite relaxing and such lovely highlights of the festival. I thought I'd just come and say, pop my head back into the world of YouTube because I actually have quite a lot of house stuff to do, and even though I'll still be doing my artwork, I still want to involve you with the art world within my life because it is a lot of artwork, it is a lot of gardening, it is a lot of me and things that I enjoy, but there's always the nice side of it as well of house stuff because if any of you don't know, which is totally fine, I moved into this house back in January and we've been very slowly doing little bits and pieces. Like I just painted my master bedroom, which I do have footage of, so I'll show you that in a second, and I do need to paint the last wall. I decided in here, which is where I do all of my drawings and artworks, you can probably see one like there, I've just not been asked to move it. I was originally going to have one wall that was wallpapered, but then after painting the whole bedroom one colour, apart from our built-in wardrobes, I realised the wallpaper kind of makes it kind of small, and I thought actually, just paint over it for now. If I change my mind, I can just put wallpaper on top rather than having the same wallpaper and having to go out to buy more wallpaper that I feel like is going to match the colours. And it's so much easier just to paste over everything first to get a blank canvas to actually see what it looks like rather than having to rely on what maybe the wallpaper that I want to put up or having a battle, because it's not just me that decides it, it's my other half as well. It's our house, it's our first house together, joint mortgage, all the lovely outgoings of having a house, and then this pit of money, as my parents would say. And we're just doing little bits at a time. Like right now, we actually are getting our drive done, so you might hear it, but you know what? It's an expense that we needed to do because it was actually damaging our cars because of how bad the drive was. But that is the last major thing we're going to have to get people in for to do for a good few years. The rest of it we can do ourselves, which I'm very helpful for and very grateful for because I actually really like painting. Outside of painting items, I prefer to paint my own room because it's just much more, it's so satisfying. Yes, it takes a lot more time, and time is still something that I don't have much of because I do work, even though it is part-time, it is still 5 days a week, so I'm pretty much still exhausted after every shift, whether it be an early, a mid or a late. Originally we were going to get some people in to do the whole house up, but then I took the decision to go from full-time to part-time, and obviously that has a hindrance on the amount of finances I have, even though the artist side of this and other bits and pieces that I earn outside of work do make up most of the money that I'm missing. It's still very hit and miss. One month I could be laughing and be like, I could quit my job next week, and then some weeks I'm just like, I literally am regretting not being full-time anymore. But you know what, it comes and goes. It's something that it just happens, and I'd rather be in a position of feeling skint than feeling like I'm about to lose my soul with the amount of hours I have to do to be able to put more money into this house. However, saying that, this is not just all talking today and me just introducing you. I have got footage of me painting my main bedroom because I feel like it is worth it. I went for a baby blue. It was a blue colour originally, but I decided actually I wanted it to be a bit more darker, a bit more purple based. And in doing that, it allowed me, well, it just feels a lot more us. Even though the carpets are still the old carpets, and we want to paint the whole of the house first before replacing any of the carpets. The only carpet we actually replaced is downstairs in our living room, and that's because it absolutely stank when we literally walked in through the door, and we were like, just replace it for now. If you want to change our mind, we can change our mind further down the line. Yes, and it's an expensive purchase to then change, but we might not even change it because of the colours we actually really like. We just got to look after it. We've only had a few mishaps with the cats, unfortunately not making it to the toilet, but we've got the proper cleaning facilities for that, also known as carpet cleaner. Hay fever is doing my head in. Does anyone else suffer from it? Like, it's so itchy on my nose. My eyes are fine if I don't touch them, but you can tell that they are sore. But my nose just... The thing is though as well, I never actually had hay fever until about 4 or 5 years ago. As soon as I moved up here, it was like, oh my god. There's actually something else I wanted to talk to you about, and I feel like I've had this discussion with myself and realisation of myself. But when I go to Glastonbury, I limit myself on social media, I limit myself with just being online constantly. I think most days I'm online about 6 hours of the day, and that's not just scrolling. I try to keep that to a minimum anyway, but that's like keeping in contact with people, work, emails, surveys, mystery customer assignments, all those little bits and pieces. Going to Glastonbury, I don't think I was online for more than half an hour, and that really opened up my life to realising what I actually wanted. Yes, I feel like when you go through a holiday, you kind of realise what is working in your life and what isn't working in your life, and it's very much a lot more hindrance on what's not working. But for me, this time it actually went towards the what is actually working within my life rather than what's not working. Not to say there's some things I didn't realise that aren't working in my life. One of them is work, as in like my job that I use to pay my bills, not this side. Not this side, not the working bit side. That's always going to be there no matter what. There was a longer list, so much of a longer list than I realised, and that actually made me feel quite proud, the fact that I've managed to get myself into this positive realm of what I want out of life. If anyone don't know, I know I've shared this on my channel before, but a few years ago I actually ended up having to have therapy because I got into a bit of a bad place in terms of mental health. Not to the point that I was sectioned or I needed medication. I just had to do some cognitive therapy to basically get me out of that rut and be able to make me functional, because I got to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed and it was seriously affecting me, which, like, thinking back now, isn't just scary, but the fact that how I got into that place in the first place, actually not surprising, because I feel like you're taught through your whole life to go, oh, you need to go to primary school, you need to go to secondary school, you need to, you know, do 6 or more college, then you go to uni, and then they just go, oh, you can do what you want now, or you need to get a job, and then that's it. Where I realised I started to slump into a hole is that as soon as I finished work, I didn't do anything. Yeah, I did a bit of artwork, but I was like, oh, I'm so tired, you know, I just want to sit in front of the settee and just watch rubbish on TV. And that's how it kind of snowballed into the fact of like, oh, I'm really tired, oh, I'll sleep more, oh, because I'm really tired, oh, my day's over with, I've got to go to work now, oh, you know, I can't be bothered to eat properly, I'll just grab something like really bad food. The diet went downhill, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go out in the garden, it's really rainy, and oh, you know, it's too hot now, oh, I can't be bothered to paint because, you know, it takes time for me to get into it, and etc, etc, etc. Very, very quickly you end up into a hole, and I realised obviously I needed help, because I woke up and I didn't know where I was very delusional, and I want to say I'm so much better now, but I generally thought I could control the sun. That's how delusional I got. Obviously, after feeling this, I phoned in sick from my work, and I was like, I'm really not okay, I'll explain to you everything tomorrow. Went back to bed, had a sleep, woke up, had some food, then went back to bed. I know that wasn't ideal, but that was a lot more safer than being awake because of the way my mental state was. When I woke up the next day, I did feel a bit weird, but I still felt better. I obviously contacted the mental health team, told them what happened, and then they sent me off to do therapy, which was basically online on the computer, which helped me out so much. Like, it was over 6 weeks, and it really did help me out a lot. I did sit there for all 6 sessions and just cry, and because you realise how bad of a state you are, but the fact that you get to do it in a team of like 6 or 7 people, and there's like 2 people just explaining to you about how everything's changed and all these behaviours and stuff, you did feel like, yeah, I kind of know that, oh yeah, I know that as well, but in the end it did get me out of a bad place. And like I said, looking back from that point to where I felt like everything was going wrong, there was barely any positives in my life, and now about 5 years later it's changed. Yes, I've still got the main negatives, probably 1 or 2, that's about it, whereas there's a lot of positives in my life which I want to keep, and that for me is incredibly overwhelming sometimes, because I generally sometimes just feel like I'm so proud of myself. Sometimes I forget of how far I come, but when I literally sat down at Glastonbury and thought about what I wanted to change in my life, I realised there wasn't very much. There was a lot of things I just wanted to keep the same, and it's so freeing. And I feel like that, just sitting in a field listening to music and not being at work and being with friends and family, just really was so peaceful. I still had the regrettable going back to work stroppy moment, but that's always going to happen, unfortunately, when I'm in a job. But again, there's a lot of things that I want to keep in my life. I don't know if you want to know anything more. I kind of withered around about mental health a lot, but it is still really important for me, and also talking out loud about it really does help. Like, I'll give you an example of some things I want to keep. I won't tell you them all because I feel like some of them are a bit too private for me. Like, it's very basic, but healthy eating. I'm quite happy with my diet. Yeah, there's a few little issues. I think it's just because I'm getting a bit older. I've got a bit of adult acne. But the amount of fruit, vegetables, and the balancedness, if that's even a word, of my diet has improved dramatically, and I feel so much better for it. Active-wise, I do a lot of gardening, walking. At work, I'm very active as well. So I actually don't get the chance to go swimming, which is something I actually really love. Not like proper like intense swimming, but I just like to bob about in the water. It's very freeing, and like when you sink into the water, and you can't really hear anything. It's just all muffled, and it's so relaxing and soothing. It's just so nice to just be at one. Be at one. Running is something I really enjoy as well. I used to run about 3 times a week back when I was in school and also in university. But because my job is very active and it's very much on my feet all day, I wouldn't see the positive of me doing that as well as that, because I'll end up just being completely exhausted. Even if I did it once a week, that's something I might look at, but then I'm like, if I just do it once a week, then I should be doing it more, because technically you should do exercise at least 3 times a week. One other thing that I'm really positive that I am so grateful that I've kept is the fact that I read before I go to bed. So a bit of context, when I'm obviously in work the next day, or if I've got a day off or I'm on a mid, I go to bed about 8.5 hours before I've got to be up. And within that half an hour of, so let's say if I'm up at 7, I will go to bed around 10:30. That's like physically in bed, like I'll get ready for bed like a bit earlier, maybe like 10 minutes of like brushing teeth, getting changed if I didn't want to shower, blah blah blah. But within that half an hour, I will lie in my bed and read a book until I either feel tired or it's like half an hour's gone. But I don't constantly look at my phone. It's something that I just go off my senses of if I feel tired or not. Generally, if it's dark outside, then I kind of know it. You know, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 or 11 o'clock. And it's such a small little thing, but it helps me take my brain away from something else. And then also when I'm trying to get to sleep, I think more about the book rather than what I need to do the next day or what I've done on that day, or if I've had a bad day. I just kind of soak myself into a book, even if it's just a page. Camera decided to die, so I'm going to bring you to a whole new angle. But basically what I was saying is that reading is really good for when you go to bed. Relaxes you, sends you to sleep, makes you feel dead happy. But anyway, I am going to stop talking. I'm going to let you see the rest of the footage that I've got and the little bits and pieces that I'm doing. This wall, I can't move the bed further over unfortunately because it's just way too heavy, so I'm going to do and paint what I can. We've got to clear this room out eventually anyway, so I'll finish painting it then. But I'll do what I can, like I said, and maybe show you even how it goes. Well, the finished bit that you can see, I'll show you. But yeah, I'll see you. So that's it everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit weird and out there, but I feel like I do need to include my home life in terms of painting. Even though I am doing artistry and painting, it's just really nice to be able to show you this version and just show you that it's not all about art. It is very much about my life as well as being an artist, painting, and even more painting, but in a different realm of respect. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. In my description box there are links to all my social medias and also my eBay selling account, which is where you'll find all my artworks that I feature on my channel, plus a couple of extras. There's also my Patreon. If you'd like to join me on there, I'd be greatly appreciated. If you can't do any of that, don't worry about it. Please just like and subscribe to my channel because it does help me out a lot in the long run, and it means I can do less of my paid job and more of this. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, please also leave them in the comment section below, that'd be nice. But until then, I shall see you guys later. Bye!